Hi everyone, this is Miss Candy. Today we are going to read a story called Guess How Much I Love You. It's a story about saying I love you. Before we learn some words in the story, I think we can listen to a song which is about how to show our love or how to express our love to others. Here it is.
If you love me and you know it, blow me a kiss. If you love me and you know it, blow me a kiss. If you love me and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you love me and you know it, blow me a kiss. If you love me and you know it, give me a hug. If you love me and you know it, give me a hug. If you love me and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you love me and you know it, give me a hug. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you. If you love me and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you. If you love me and you know it, and you really wanna show it. If you love me and you know it, say I love you. I love you.
Like the song? Is it familiar to you? And it's now the time for us to learn some words in the story. And here comes the first one. Okay, this is guess. Guess means you give an answer to a question when you are not sure about it. Okay, you don't know the answer of a question, you are not sure if you're correct, but you have to make a guess. Okay? And next one is listen. Listen. That means you give attention to something because you want to hear it. Okay? You pay attention, you want to hear it. Listen. And then this is sleepy. Okay, you look at the animation here. When you are sleepy, you fall asleep like him. And swing here, swing. That means you move easily backwards and forwards. Swing. Okay, this is wide. Wide. Okay, like this. We have a large distance from one side to the other, and when we want to compare with the length of something, we call it wide. Large distance from one side to the other, and then it means not narrow. Okay, wide. And high. High. That means it's having a large distance from the top to the bottom or a long way above the ground. Okay, you look at the picture here. This princess, Rapunzel, do you know her? Okay, Rapunzel, she is at a high position. Okay, so high. Like this. And then far. Far. Okay, so you can see there is a boy who is near the tree, but then for the girl, she is far from the tree. So far, that means there is a great distance. Okay, so far, far away from the tree. Far. And this one is river. I've introduced the word river before. Okay, you look at the animation here. River is the flow of fresh water from the land into the sea. River. Okay, hill. Okay, this is the hill. I think you know it. And then whisper. That means you speak very quietly because you don't want others to hear. And then moon. Okay, this is the moon. It's a full moon. You can only see it at night. And then hare, okay? So you may think they are rabbits, but they are different from rabbits. They are called hare. Inside the story, the two main characters are hares. And I'm going to show you how a rabbit looks like. Okay, so this is a hare and this is a rabbit. Hares are usually bigger and then they have longer ears, and then their front limbs are longer as well. So there are two different kinds of animals. Okay, and then hop. So we usually use the verb hop for small animals. So if a small animal hops, just like the rabbit here, that means it moves by jumping on all or two of its feet at the same time. Okay, and then we have another verb that is bounce. You can also see it in the story. Okay, bounce, that means moving up and down with energy. Okay, you can look at the bunnies here. They are so energetic. They're moving up and down happily. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you another verb that is jump. Okay, jump is different from hop and bounce. So for jump, the movement goes further. Okay, you push yourself suddenly off the ground. That is jump. After learning the words in this book, let's look at the book cover. Guess how much I love you. Do you know what it is? Can you tell me? Yes, this is the book title, or we can say the name of this book. And then here, Sam Bradley. Who is he? Yes, he is the author, or we can say he is the writer of this book. That means the one who writes this book. And illustrated by Anita Jerem. So Anita Jerem will be... Yes, she is the illustrator of this book, the one who draws the picture. So here on this book cover, this beautiful picture is drawn by Anita Jerem. And here comes the two main characters in this book. You can see in this book they are talking to each other, and I'm going to introduce them to you. Here on the left hand side, the smaller hare is called Little Nut Brown Hare, and then the one on the right hand side, the big hare, is called Big Nut Brown Hare. Before we read the story, I have a task for you. Here is a secret message from Big Nut Brown Hare to Little Nut Brown Hare. Okay, there are 8 letters. I want you to rearrange the letters and tell me the secret message. Okay, so can you please help me to find what the secret message is? And after reading the story, I will ask you again. Maybe now you don't know what the secret message is. Okay, but we'll read the story, and then after that you may know the answer. And I hope you can tell me. Okay, are you ready? So let's begin and read our story together. And this time I'll read it slowly, and I hope you can read along the story with me. Little Nut Brown Hare, who was going to bed, held on tight to Big Nut Brown Hare's very long ears. He wanted to be sure that Big Nut Brown Hare was listening. Guess how much I love you, he said. Oh, I don't think I could guess that, said Big Nut Brown Hare. This much, said Little Nut Brown Hare, stretching out his arms as wide as they could go. Big Nut Brown Hare had even longer arms. But I love you this much, he said. That is a lot, thought Little Nut Brown Hare. I love you as high as I can reach, said Little Nut Brown Hare. I love you as high as I can reach, said big nut brown hare. That is quite high, thought little nut brown hare. I wish I had arms like that. Then little nut brown hare had a good idea. He tumbled upside down and reached up the tree trunk with his feet. I love you all the way up to my toes, he said. And I love you all the way up to your toes, said big nut brown hare, swinging him up over his head. I love you as high as I can hop, laughed little nut brown hare, bouncing up and down. But I love you as high as I can hop, smiled big nut brown hare, and he hopped so high that his ears touched the branches above. That's good hopping, thought little nut brown hare. I wish I could hop like that. I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river, cried little nut brown hare. I love you across the river and over the hills, said big nut brown hare. That's very far, thought little nut brown hare. He was almost too sleepy to think any more. Then he looked beyond the thorn bushes, out into the big dark night. Nothing could be farther than the sky. Big nut brown hare settled little nut brown hare into his bed of leaves. He leaned over and kissed him good night. Then he lay down close by and whispered with a smile, I love you right up to the moon and back. So this is the end of the story. Do you like this book? You can say, yes, I like it, or no, I don't like it, but why? Why do you like this book, or why don't you like this book? Maybe you can tell me, and you can leave your comments under this video. So for me, I love this book, and that's why I introduced this book to you and I read the story with you. I love it because it shows the love between a parent and a child. That means the little nut brown hare and big nut brown hare in this story. So they love each other, but more than that, they say I love you to each other every time. So do you love your family? Do you love your daddy, your mommy, or your brother, sister, grandpa, grandma, or even your teachers, your friends? Maybe you can show your love by saying I love you to them. Or maybe you can take some actions, you can take care of them, and then you can talk with them to show your love. And do you remember, before we read the story, I gave you a task. I asked you to find out the secret message from big nut brown hare to little nut brown hare. Do you remember? Okay, so here are 8 letters. Can you tell me what the secret message is? Okay, yes. I. Very good. It starts with I. And then L. You tell me the letters. Yes, right. Very good. L. O. Good job. And then V. Yes. And then E. Okay, good job. I love, and then yes, I love you. Okay, how do you spell you? Y O U. Okay, so the secret message is I love you. In this book, there are lots of sentences using as. We use as plus adjective or adverb plus s to compare the things. Let me show more examples in this book. So here is the first one. Look at the picture. So what did Little Nut Brown do? Little Nut Brown Hare stretched out his arms. Okay, this is a sentence, right? But then in the book, it describes how much Little Nut Brown Hare stretched out his arms. So we add as wide as they could go. So the whole sentence becomes Little Nut Brown Hare stretched out his arms as wide as they could go. So in this sentence, you can see how wide Little Nut Brown Hare stretched out his arms. Okay, how wide? As wide as they could go. And then here, there are two pictures, right? So they tell each other, I love you. So how much do they love each other? They say, okay, I love you as high as I can reach. So as high as I can reach show how much their love is. And then here, Little Nut Brown said, I love you, right? So how much? I love you as high as I can hope. So here is the last example. Little Nut Brown Hare said, I love you all the way down the river. So how far? This far, right? As far as the river. Do you know more about this sentence pattern? Maybe you can try to use it later. And it's almost the time for today. But before you go, in the last 5 minutes, I want you to take out a piece of paper. You better not use your notebook because I want you to write a card to the one you love. Maybe you can write a card to your daddy or mommy, your brother or sister, or your friends, your teachers, your grandpa, your grandma, any of them. After reading today's book, I think you know more about how to express your love. So why don't we have the time here to write a card to the one we love? Maybe so on one side of your paper, you can draw a simple picture like this and you color it. Maybe you can do better than the picture I'm showing here. So you can take some time to draw your pictures. And after that, okay, hold on. If you haven't finished your drawing, you can turn to another side. Okay, you flip your card. After you flip your card, you will see another side of the paper of your card, right? It's blank. It has nothing. What I want to spend more time with you is the message you are going to write down for your daddy or mommy or for the one you love. Maybe for Miss Candy, I want to write the card to my daddy and mommy. So I write down like this, Dear Mom and Dad. But if you're not going to write for your daddy and mommy, you want to write it to your brother or your sister, you can write down Dear Brother, okay, Dear Sister, or you write down their names. Okay, so you can just write down 2 to 3 sentences as the contents of your card. Maybe you can write down, can you guess how much I love you? Then you can use the sentence pattern you learned today. I love you as and then you finish your card by writing down love, your name, with your name at the end. So maybe here you can write down I love you as high as I can jump. this is the end for today. I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you so much. See you.